Next, we're joined by Kori Edwards. She is the Chief Strategy Officer at 47G, which is an organization connecting energy and defense innovation across the Mountain West. She is going to discuss securing the nation's future, the strategic role of the White Mesa Mill in energy and defense. So, welcome, Kori.
Well, good morning. Excited to be here in Blanding, Utah. It's always great to come down to San Juan County. As I said, I'm Kori Edwards, and I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for 47G. I moved over to 47G in January. Before that, spent 5 years with the governor's economic team, and spent a lot of great time during those 5 years here in your great county. So we're excited today to celebrate Energy Fuels White Mesa Mill. And as I talk and focus a little bit on energy innovation and defense, will really be my focus areas. And for those of you yesterday, a little bit of foot stomping, a lot of what was said and the importance of what's happening here at the White Mesa Mill. But this facility is a cornerstone of U.S. efforts to restore and secure domestic supply chain for our national security and our innovation. I hope you can see those slides. A little bit about 47G. We are 3 years old, and as I said, we are the Aerospace and Defense Association for the state of Utah. And I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing and really what the aerospace and defense ecosystem means for the state of Utah in all that we're doing. And I know you probably can't read this, but I'll just tell you a little bit of the quick facts about the ecosystem in the state of Utah. This ecosystem represents industry employment growth by 23.4% over the last 5 years. 23.4% of employment growth, outpacing the nation. And you'll notice I'll say those last three words quite a bit, outpacing the nation. Wages rose by 31.1% over the last 5 years, outpacing the nation. This industry accounts for 19.2% of the state's GDP. So just under 20% of the state's GDP comes from the aerospace and defense industry. We have the highest 5-year GDP growth in the nation amongst the states for aerospace and defense, and nearly $1.6 billion in direct annual tax revenue. So it definitely plays a critical role in the state of Utah. For 47G, we're really kind of two sides of our focus area. One is our association side, where we represent industry affiliates, our community, and our academia, really working together this ecosystem to make sure we continue to advance. The other side of the house is the industry development side, which is my side of the portfolio, where we're really focused on strategic economic development advances for this industry. And you can kind of see there some of the focuses. Right now, we're working on, should Utah have a spaceport in the state of Utah, be one of the first inland spaceports with technology and all of that. Back in 1971, Utah was in the final four for being announced a spaceport, but since we didn't have access to an ocean, we were not selected. But with today's advances in all of our orbital and suborbital and vertical and horizontal opportunities, the legislature has started an exploration committee that's met several times to see if Utah should have a spaceport. So more to come on that. The other piece is advanced manufacturing, which is critical to things we're doing. Advanced air mobility, which this mill plays such a critical role in advanced air mobility, where we're now bringing electric and hybrid electric airplanes into our transportation ecosystem. And Utah's goal is to have a fully operating air taxi system by the 2034 Olympics. The FAA is starting to certify these airplanes. There's been executive orders to the FAA to advance this technology very quickly. And so electric batteries and all of that takes all of these critical minerals to function, and all the sensoring that happens for that. We think that air taxis will probably be a novelty by the 2028 Olympics in LA and fully functional for the 2034 Olympics here in the state of Utah. So excited about that. And then from 47G's perspective, we really got pulled into this critical mineral space just because the end user is so dependent on all of the critical minerals, and it's so important. So one of the things recently is Utah was awarded an economic development and an EDA, Economic Development Agency, tech hub strategy for critical minerals. And we really looked at the ecosystem of critical minerals. And one of the great things that came out of that effort, it just ended in May, was a full curriculum on critical minerals that was developed here at the USU office in Blanding. And so we were able to develop that. And then they led out in May and June, bringing 8th, 9th, and 10th graders into this curriculum, and really teaching them all about the exciting things and what critical minerals play and how that role, and where you're such a big player in our national environment in critical minerals, having these kids learn about that importance was fabulous. There's about 35 to 40 kids that went through this first cohort of learning about critical minerals, and USU and the Blanding office is going to continue that effort. So thanks to Energy Fuels and a lot of the other employers, Lisenby Valley, Copper Mine, and a few others that really helped develop that curriculum. And that was part of the science curriculum to the Upward Bounds course. So really happy about that. Critical minerals are the lifeblood of modern technology and our national security. Their scarcity, strategic importance, and essential role in innovation makes them vital to economic growth, sustainability, and our security. I'd like to commend Energy Fuels, our Utah leaders, and our national leaders for prioritizing our domestic supply dominance and independence, which is so critically behind right now. As you can see, 90% of that is controlled by China. So we need to turn that around. We have a national asset here in the Four Corners with the White Mesa Mill as America's only operating conventional uranium and rare earth mill. So thank you for this investment, and thanks, Mark, for your focus on making sure that we protect this asset and grow this asset like you're doing. You can see, let's see, oops, slide ahead. Through this mill, we're reducing dependence, restoring resilience, and rebuilding our domestic supply chain, which is which is so important for economic security and sustainability. We're grateful for the White Mesa Mill. Sorry, sometimes that's hard to say. The White Mesa Mill for its focus. You can see here all of the critical things that the uranium and the rare earth elements support. From our energy to our advanced manufacturing to our medical innovations and our national defense, space, and so much more. The batteries that I talked about for the advanced air mobility and all those critical things, our guidance, our deterrence, everything is reliant on these critical minerals. And so without independence in the US on these, we're in trouble. So the road ahead, I'm excited about the expansion of the White Mesa Mill. I'm looking forward to that. And I hope together we can continue to look ahead as we expand, invest, build, and empower partnerships that power our future and strengthen America's resilience. And I kind of pulled this up and I thought this was exciting. From Utah to the world, and that's really what we're doing, securing America's energy and defense future. The future of energy, technology, and defense is being built right here. So thank you so much to Energy Fuels and the White Mesa Mill for all you're doing for Utah, for this community, and for our nation, and really for the world. So I'm happy to be part of it, and thank you. I also do want to make one plug that 47G is having its zero gravity summit November 4th and 5th in Salt Lake at the Salt Palace, and we have 4 tracks for that: defense tech, space, energy, and which Energy Fuels will be part of, and then advanced air mobility and the future of flight. So encourage you, zerogravitysummit.org if you're interested in attending that. We've got Nikki Haley coming to speak, and then the closing speaker will be Peyton Manning. So it'll be a fun event. So thank you again, and thanks for Energy Fuels for having this open house, and appreciate being part of it. Happy to answer any questions.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. Does anybody have any questions for Corianne? Okay, well, you're off the hook. Well, and thank you again for 47G's support as well. No, it's we're doing some great things here in Utah together. So appreciate your coming out.